This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Pure happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today afternoon update for Friday, October the 30th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Things are now back to normal at the state-run Barbados National Oil Company in Woodbourne, St. Philip, following the rupture of a wellhead on Wednesday. This resulted in natural gas spewing into the atmosphere and affecting some residents who suffer from respiratory problems. However, technical manager with the company, Mervyn Gordon, told Barbados Today this morning, while the situation is now under control, it must still be monitored.
The well is okay, it's under control, everything is sealed off and so on. What we will be looking at, since the pressure will probably build back up, and we need to monitor that in another couple of days, is to see whether or not we can then put it into the system and utilize the gas rather than leaving it there.
Right, so
everything is under control.
So it's not getting out at this point in time?
No.
The president of the Barbados Road Safety Association, Charmaine Rowland-Bowen, is calling on the authorities to fast-forward proposed breathalyzer testing legislation. Speaking against the background of a number of deaths on the country's roads, she said there's need for people to ensure that they have a designated driver when planning to consume alcohol. So far this year, the country has recorded 19 road fatalities compared to 14 for the whole of last year and 18 for 2013. Rowland-Bowen is adamant that the much-discussed breathalyzer testing legislation was long overdue, saying that people need to be educated about the dangers of unsafe driving. She also called on authorities to look at introducing a graduated driver's license system used in a number of other countries. The aim is to make under 25 drivers safer on the road by controlling their driving habits through restrictions. Now, in the wake of recent customer complaints, telecommunications giant Flow has been called upon to raise its level of service. The suggestion came from Senator Darcy Boyce, the minister with responsibility for telecommunications in the office of the Prime Minister, during C&W Business launch, at which he drew a link between service excellence and higher national productivity.
We do not expect perfection in any infrastructure system. What we do expect, however, and what it is right for us to expect, is that prompt, efficient, and effective service will be forthcoming whenever problems develop in the system. Part of the brand attribute that Government Wires must therefore continue to cultivate must be one of high and always improving levels of service.
Political scientist Dr. Tennyson Joseph wants local trade unions to cut ties with political parties. He made the call as he delivered the 19th annual John Cumberbatch Memorial Lecture sponsored by the Barbados Union of Teachers at the Amman Bay Conference Center recently. He said the workers' representatives need to buck this trend given the movement was facing what he described as the most difficult intellectual and political climate.
A trade union cannot serve two masters. Unions which serve as the institutional link between political parties and the mass base of the population, in the context of neoliberalism and structural adjustment, can only transform the union into a servant of capital at the expense of labor. In addition, and in keeping with James' warnings against elitism, our trade union leaders must carefully guard against the attractions of high office. Our leaders must ensure that they do not become too much a part of the post-colonial political leadership, that they find it impossible to disentangle themselves from association with governments when such disassociation might become necessary.
The political scientist also took a swipe at the social partnership.
While I appreciate the role of the social partnership as a particular state response in specific moments of crisis, it is an error on the part of the union to make it a permanent part of its modus operandi, especially when both the private sector and government find it necessary to violate the principle of the so-called partnership when it suits their interest. The labor movement should not be showing more faith in the capitalist device, which was intended to contain the labor movement, than the capitalist state itself is showing in its own institution.
Deepening cooperation and trade links have been dominating talks between the foreign affairs ministers of Barbados and Guyana. And Senator Maxine McLean says she's satisfied with the progress made so far between the territories. She made the comments during a cocktail reception at the Accra Beach Resort last night.
Since my visit in 2013, there's much to talk about. Barbadian students have successfully completed studies in agriculture in Guyana through scholarships provided by the Guyana School of Agriculture. In addition, there are 7 interns from Guyana currently at the Crane Hotel nearing completion of a 3-month internship in the hospitality sector. There's been considerable collaboration between Barbados' Industrial Development Corporation and its Guyana counterpart, Go Invest. We were pleased to welcome a contingent of over 30 Guyanese exhibitors as a result of that collaboration to our trade expo, BMEX, in May this year. Tomorrow, as we commence the 3rd session of the Joint Commission, we will be preparing to sign MOUs between our respective tourism agencies and between our seaports. Tomorrow, we will be looking to broaden and deepen our relationship and to create further opportunities for our young people, for our professionals, and for the business community generally.
In sports now, Brazil's former football boss agrees to his extradition from Switzerland to the United States to face corruption charges. 83-year-old Jose Maria Marin was among 7 officials from football's world governing body FIFA who were arrested in May in Zurich in a Zurich hotel. He is accused of taking bribes in connection with marketing rights and is alleged to have accepted millions of dollars from sports marketing companies with regard to the Copa America and the Copa do Brasil tournaments.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
So news from our regional neighbors now, St. Lucia records a 7% decrease in crime for the first 9 months of the year. And according to statistics from the country's police force, the majority of those crimes were property offenses. More in this report from HTS News Force.
And we see these offenses against the person, summary offenses, and property crimes, again, record the highest numbers, account for almost 95% of the total recorded crimes.
The force, however, continues to see a steady increase in the number of misdemeanor offenses. Sergeant Kimroy Rene of the Crime Intelligence Unit says the force has also registered a 13% decrease in the murder rate.
The threats, the minor assaults, the petty thefts continue to record the highest number of figures. There has been a reduction in homicides, which, when we say homicide, we include both murders and police-related killings, and murders compared to the same period last year. Last year, during the same period, we had 2 police-related shootings. This year, we have recorded only 1. Murders, they recorded for last year was 23 for the same period. This year, we have recorded 20, showing a reduction of 13%.
On the international scene, talks among all foreign powers on Syria's civil war opened in Vienna today. The meeting seeks to close the gap between the U.S. and its allies who support the rebels and the key foreign allies of Syrian government, Russia and Iran. It is the first time Iran has been involved in the diplomacy. And finally, at least 22 migrants, most of them children, have drowned in the second major boat tragedy of Greek islands this week. Greek officials said 19 people died and 138 were rescued. 3 others died off roads and 3 are still missing. Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras expressed shame over the inability of Europe to deal effectively with this crisis. And that's our afternoon update. But there's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Good afternoon.